those.
The editing would take forever. Welcome back, finally. For us, it's been a little while, but for you, it's only been a day. To the Pick It and Flick It podcast. My name is Vox, and I am joined by
Luke
and
Natasha.
Hey, great to see you. How are you? Another one of my fantastic picks, but I'm happy about it, and I was really excited to watch this movie again because I haven't in a long time. 1979's Alien. Ridley Scott.
Yes.
Is this his first movie?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I know this is what made him famous.
And he hasn't really done a whole lot of directing, like 36 movies, I think, total. But he hasn't done a whole lot of like major directing in a while, has he?
Well, he did The Martian.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty recent, wasn't it? What was that, 2015?
15? Yeah.
No, that's not bad. No, this couldn't have been his first movie. There's no way. But it's his first fucking masterpiece. I'll say that much. I will say that much.
Well, I obviously, like, with The Exorcist, this is one of those beyond influential and well-known kind of movies where...
I was listening to The Exorcist
Mm-hmm.
The other day, and this is just instant warning.
Oh, no.
If you haven't seen a movie from 1979, we're about to spoil it. Just a heads up. That's what we do here.
As if anything in this movie isn't known by just about everybody.
Right. This is our 11th.
Yes, of the
11th pick.
Halloween extravaganza.
There it is.
We've got going on here.
You got to remember to
This
say
was
that.
one of those movies that I don't have a lot of notes on just because I just got
wrapped up
in
enthralled
it.
in
I don't know. But
That's a
I
good
was
thing.
just so into it that I couldn't really think of anything to write down, but
So
I'll bounce off
to
you guys.
start off, this movie is a slow chug
Mm-hmm.
to the end, which is wrapped around. It's like a little wiener wrapped around with bacon wrapped around it. It's just tasty through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Pig in a blanket, but with bacon.
Takes a little while to get
Okay.
there. A fucking masterpiece. I think this is probably, I'm not even exaggerating, probably my favorite horror movie of all time.
Wow. Okay. A lot of people say that about the Exorcist.
Yeah. See, no. This
So,
movie
yeah.
destroys The Exorcist.
Okay.
Absolutely destroys The Exorcist.
Well, it's just it's just the classic shrinking group due to a killer story, but with that spooky little sci-fi twist. And
So, okay, we'll talk. Let's dive right in.
Let's
We're going to
get it.
talk about a group
Mhm.
shrinking by a killer.
Among Us.
The thing that they
Topical.
do so well in this movie is that we don't even know who the protagonist is going through the whole
Right.
thing. We just think like we're just focusing
Mhm.
on a group, which we don't really see that a whole lot.
If anything, it's Dallas, who they kind of set up as going to be kind of the protagonist
Yeah,
of
the
sorts.
captain. The captain.
So I
Um,
thought it was gonna be. Oh my God, what's her name?
Ridley?
Really?
Or Ripley.
Ripley.
I always
Oh,
get
yeah.
it, too.
Oh, yeah,
That's
shit,
what-
you did it to me.
But I thought it was gonna be her. Maybe it's just because she's in other movies, so I recognize. Or
Yeah.
I might recognize her more because she's.
That's where I was at because I had already known that she was obviously the one that come
Mhm.
out and get into the sequels. But
Spoiler alert.
yeah, but for sure, I mean, we don't. If you really pay attention, though, they don't focus on her a whole hell of a lot. But she's always the one that was making those calls, saying like, "Yo, by the way, this
Don't
is
be
against,
stupid."
Yeah, this is against like protocol. We shouldn't be doing this, or we need to do this properly in order to survive." Like
Mhm.
when she goes down after they get the beacon and land on a alien planet, and she goes down to
LV426 whatever.
yeah, but that
Something like that.
side note, that's not even revealed in the actual movie. That's
Okay.
revealed in the director's cut.
Ooh.
Spoiler.
Well, so they also go onto that planet in Aliens, which, of course, came out after this
Oh
movie.
yeah, well, we can't talk about that. We haven't seen it yet.
Well, I've seen it.
I've seen it too. I've seen all the movies multiple times. I'm just
It's
going
basically
through.
the same movie.
But anyways, she goes down to where the guys were trying to make the repairs, and she's like, "Make sure you do it right. Like, let's get this off this freaking
Don't
planet."
be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated the fact that in modern time we see a lot of movies that have a group, but we already know who the survivor is
Right.
because they're on the cover or on the poster or in the trailer for this one. And I even went back and watched the trailer. It doesn't focus on just her either. It's focusing on all of them and the situations that they get put into, So that is really cool. My first note going into kind of wrapping back to the beginning of the movie is models for spaceships and planets. Remember that? Question mark?
They used to do that.
Oh my God. I mean, the spaceship in this thing, the best part about having a model as like a prop in a movie is the amount of detail that they actually put into it.
It looks real.
Because it is physically built. It's not computer generated. And God damn, is that beautiful to look at. Like,
It still holds up.
oh God.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think,
it's
go ahead.
crazy to see the technology that they thought that we would have. Or what year was this?
It was like
20
21 something.
2120?
Yeah.
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 And it's crazy how even now, like, the technology is already way more advanced than what they were thinking in the 70s.
Right. Oh, and I almost said 2021, but we just got to flip those.
Yeah.
It's 2120, which is
Yeah,
nuts.
100 years from now.
That
We'll
shit's
be
whack.
fighting all kinds of different spooky aliens.
Going from there, I think this intro was compared to what's another one that had a really long intro that I was like, no, not a thing. Even Exorcist, I guess. 'Cause
Okay.
that intro's drawn out.
Spaceballs. The
Yeah,
opening
Spaceball.
of that
Yeah.
with the ship.
The cinematic intro for this is one of those that you can't help but keep watching.
Right.
Like I said, to compare to Exorcist, I was like, all right, where's this going? Like,
Well,
why is this going on so long?
I watched these movies when I was younger. I don't know how old, but it seemed like I was able to keep my interest more in this movie or in this time than I was when I was younger.
Sure.
Because before, I was watching a horror movie because I wanted to be jumping, I wanted to be scared, I wanted to right off the bat have someone die. And
Yeah.
it was interesting to watch it older and understand. I don't know, just have the patience to.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
now as you get older, you of course become interested in the characters, and that's a big thing that I guess grips your attention. It's just they all seem very natural
Yeah.
and real.
Absolutely.
And I think it's just one of those movies.
Um,
And it's hard to just not say that because this movie's placed in the fucking Library of Congress, like their film reserve, which is,
is it really?
Yeah. Fucking Alien is in there
Wow.
with The Godfather and Citizen Kane and all those elite movies, I guess.
So
Haven't seen either of those.
the thing that really gets me as we're still talking about the model stuff is it looks like whoever did the set design for this movie is a goddamn genius because it looks so used and so like.
Well, it won an Oscar for best visual effects. So
Did it?
Yeah,
I
deservingly.
Well, and it all connects because sometimes I feel like movies don't like it doesn't look like that's actually part of the ship. Like it shouldn't go there, but everything
Right.
just
Yeah.
flows.
Have you ever seen Oblivion with Tom Cruise?
No,
Okay.
I don't think anyone has.
I have. I really like that movie.
You're the only one.
Morgan Freeman's in that movie.
Don't you own it?
Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman's in every movie.
No, he's not. He wasn't in this movie.
I'm pretty sure I saw
that
it.
you know of. That's not fair. This movie has like 8 people in it.
I had to watch it when I worked, or not had to, but I watched it when I worked at Family Video. 'cause
Anyways, it's actually a
just
good
came
movie.
out.
I'm not
Okay.
a Tom Cruise fan, but my point to that is that is really futuristic as well, but everything looks so shiny and clean.
Yeah, this has a real lived-in
and
feel.
This is gritty, man. I mean, everything looks so dirty.
Yeah.
And of course, I think they did a really good job with that too, because the cast smokes through the whole movie inside the ship. You
Right.
know? So you're just sitting
As
there
you did in
and-
the 70s.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you can tell that place has been smoked in, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's some dirt in that place.
It's grimy.
It reminds me of where we work.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It just looks like
That-
it's been there for a
and
while.
that's another part that works so well for I think general people is it's like one of the notes jumping ahead to the chestburster scene, which is obviously by far the most well-known part of the movie.
Sure.
I wrote, it all feels so real and natural, like you picked any random break room and filmed the conversations going on.
Well, the best part about that scene, and I don't know if you know this or if Tosh knows this, but the cast was not
Ooh.
aware that was going to happen.
You told me.
Well,
Okay.
you're about
Okay.
half correct. A few of them knew they all knew that something was going to happen. They just didn't know what or when.
Well,
So it wasn't just like
that's cool,
they
though.
did it, because obviously you got to set that stuff up.
Yeah.
But I think the most unknown thing was what the hell was her name? The
other chick in the movie.
Lambert. She didn't know that it was going to spray blood at her, so that was like when
So
she
is
gets
it-
hit.
Genuine.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
she was like, "Oh, okay."
So yeah, that's really nice. I thought that I like when movies do that. We're gonna date back to way back when Psycho.
Ooh,
Did you know how she got that scream in Psycho?
what do you mean?
You know when she's in the shower,
Yeah,
and guy opens up the curtain and she turns
Right.
around and screams.
Right.
Do you know how they made her?
how did
scream
they
like
make
that?
Janet Leigh scream like that?
Do you honestly don't know this?
No,
Okay.
enlighten me.
She's in a warm shower.
Oh, and they turned it cold.
They instantly turned it cold.
Ooh, okay. That's the first movie where they flush a toilet on screen. Did you know that? That's
No.
that's a pointless bar trivia fact for you.
No, but that's how. I mean, effects like that.
Right.
To do that to get genuine.
They wouldn't do
reactions.
stuff like that
Same
today.
thing like we
Yeah.
were talking about with The Exorcist.
Yeah.
How the soup vomit
Yeah.
was only supposed to hit him in the chest, but it hit him in the face.
The
so it was-
unexpected was
Yes.
what can.
Well,
Oh my god!
and they were good at making you uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
with the situation without it taking too long, without you being like, all right, what's gonna happen?
Right.
already?
Right.
But they still took their time instead of just being like, and like,
Yeah.
Absolutely. What was that? Oh, okay.
That everyone's trying to do that Night of the Living Dead
Yes.
ending where it's like they can never find that perfect window of writing the suspense and kind of like, okay, we know something's gonna happen now, just get it the fuck
get it
over
on,
with.
get it on. So I want to jump back just a little bit before that, when we start seeing the aliens as they're exploring the ship that is on the planet.
Yeah.
Again, oh my goodness, when the egg opens up, it's just so. I don't know, man. Like I can see that in real life. You know, like when that egg first opens and there's the
Yeah,
creature
yeah.
moving in there before the face hugger jumps out, and then jumping to the face hugger scene, which
It's
is,
the worst Kinder Surprise egg.
I just oh nice. I just can't imagine having to do like this scene with this thing on your face.
Oh, it would suck.
And then you can see that he's breathing heavily because he's obviously uncomfortable in real life, but also like showing that it's taking a toll on it. I don't know. The acting along with the props are
are
really
you
good.
trying to bring us wearing masks into this?
What? No, not at all.
I'm just kidding.
Because I've seen,
Please.
I kind of get what she means though. I've seen a frightening amount of recreated face hugger masks.
I want one. I've seen those too.
You need to stop.
I want one. It
Oh,
is so
no.
cool. The other thing that I want to point out about that scene, actually, there's two things because I have one written down and
Yeah.
the other one that came to me. When they go to like start touching,
On the mothership, yeah.
On-
On that big mothership.
no. When he's in
On
the
the big
hospital,
croissant.
when he no.
Okay.
when
so
he's
now
in the
we're-
hospital bed,
Yeah.
and they go to start removing the face hugger,
Mm-hmm.
and the tail tightens.
Oh, and
like,
yeah,
around his
yeah,
neck, and
yeah.
it just looks so fluid. Like the second they touch, it's like
Right.
an instinct. So it's like it's alive, and
'Cause
they
you
did a
know-
really good job at that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because you know when they
Fantastic.
when they do it now, it's got to be CGI and it looks shitty. Like this looks like so painful and just like unsettling.
It's lovely.
It.
The other scene, note, my next note I actually have on that is, do you know how they made the acid work?
How did they make the acid work?
Do you not know? I don't know if
No,
it was sarcastic or not. Okay.
Well, either way, I want you to tell me, so I'm gonna
Well, I was going
lead
to
it
tell you,
up
but
to
I'm
it
just
for you.
excited if you don't know it. So I work part-time at a haunted attraction
Yes.
during the spooky times. And
We are in the real
the
spooky
real
times.
spooky times.
Not just life.
And
Not just 2020.
this is a trick that we use to make basically skull faces and make people or props look like they've been rotting. And this is exactly what they did for this movie. They had a piece of not cardboard, styrofoam down.
Oh.
And I guarantee, I don't know for sure, but I guaranteed they put a bunch of spray paint in a can and then dripped it onto the styrofoam because it eats the acid that's in the
Right.
spray paint will eat away the styrofoam, and that's exactly what it looked like. But it was so convincing because it looked like it was metal eating through that. And I'm
Yes.
just saying, practical effects A+, my friend.
Yeah.
It's still
that's a
A+.
note that I have on there too.
Oh my god!
It's just so much, I feel like I say this every time we watch an older movie, but it's just so nice to watch it and for it to look more realistic. Like even when Ash was, can I jump to the
Yeah,
end
you can
ish?
jump, yeah.
But when they had to like adjust Ash's head when he was talking at the end, or near the end, I knew, I was like, well, they're doing that so he can still look like himself, but talk, and he's like probably
which again
underneath
goes back
something.
to, I know we're referencing Exorcist here a lot, but
Because
because it's the same era. But it goes back to the whole head spinning thing.
Yeah.
You obviously know that practical effect isn't actually happening, but it's,
even in your favorite Reanimator.
I liked Reanimator. What are you talking about?
We reference it all the time now when we watch Grace.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
It's perfect.
But I thought, back to Ash, I guess, in the beginning when he was like walking around and like kind of twitching, and he was talking to her when he was like sitting down, I felt like he was off. Like,
Yes.
And obviously I haven't seen this movie in a while, so I didn't know, and I mentioned it to Vox, and he was like, I think he might be the android. And then at the obviously near the end we found out that he was. But it was cool that they still contributed that to make it seem like he wasn't just a human.
Yeah.
Well, and the best part about that is that when they reveal it, the crew doesn't even know he's an android.
Yeah,
You know, they're
Yeah,
like,
because even Dallas mentioned that, I don't know why his name is the only one that I remember, when he mentioned that the old, oh my gosh, what is he called?
the android.
No, the scientific something.
science officer?
Yeah, our old
Yeah,
science
yeah.
officer I had worked with for years,
Yeah.
and then right before this trip, he was kicked off, and we got Ash.
Yeah, they do leave subtle little hints that the ship as well as Ash are in cahoots to do
Yes.
something that not everyone is informed of.
Well, my favorite thing is when Dennis starts defending Ripley, and he smashes him over the head with the fire extinguisher,
Yeah.
and it kind of breaks his head loose.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
They sent us a goddamn robot. I was like, oh, see, that's a nice little twist. Which, speaking of Dennis, what a character, man. I feel like he was the guy that I could relate to on that, because he was like, we're doing extra work. Why aren't we getting extra money? Like, why are we doing this?
Right.
Because I would be that guy. Like, oh, we're going to go on an alien planet and not get paid extra for it. Great. When they're hauling in a bunch of ore because they're a mining,
Yeah.
they're a mining colony.
So something that I had said to Vox, I was like, well, I always hear like black people die first in horror movies, but
Yeah.
out of every horror movie we've watched, the black people have not died first.
And
It definitely happens, but I'm not really sure what caused that trope.
Because I just don't think it's true.
Obviously everyone's heard that.
yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, the black characters are usually like either really fucking heroic, badass, or just like one of the most likable.
Yeah, they're always the
funniest.
comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I personally enjoy that. I don't
Yeah.
know how that goes
Yeah,
across to other people, but-
Yaffy Kodo is his real name. Parker. He goes out like a total gangster, man. He saving Lambert, who I guess just decides, I'm just gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna.
I cannot.
I didn't like her.
Yeah.
I didn't like her character at all. She was just kind of like annoying.
Yeah, she
in
didn't
there.
even get
Whiny.
her original death, which they didn't even shoot, was the xenomorph was going to shove her into a vent that was way too small for a person to be in.
Ooh.
But instead they just didn't.
So speaking of death, I do have a note on some of that.
That's a big thing.
Well, it's not really a big thing.
In life it is.
Okay. So my note is that I like the kills in this movie because they're not really on screen.
Mm-hmm.
They're just showing a quick little glimpse.
A lot of it was cut out.
Sound, and not even that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of it was even cut out. It's just how he keeps the anticipation rolling through this entire movie because we don't see the monster.
No.
We don't see. He's going kind of Jaws on us.
I believe he's only the xenomorph is only on screen for like
4 times. I believe.
4 times. Yeah.
Yep.
In a movie where its original cut was 3.5 hours.
Right.
So that's
Wow.
pretty damn impressive, I would say.
Yeah, and so he does a really good job, and obviously I mean he by Ridley Scott. He does a really good job by keeping the audience guessing on what's going on after we hear the screams. My favorite shot is when Sam gets killed because he's looking for the cat. And we only see the cat and some shadows moving. And then the cat, like, obviously watching this guy being obliterated. And that's just fantastic because they know that they don't have the props or the money to show major on-screen kills like we get later on in this series. You know, there's some pretty brutal kills that happen in the Alien series, and obviously their funding goes up and their budget's a little bit higher, and they can start doing that because they have the props to do so. Or, I'm talking to you, Covenant, you piece of shit. You get CGI kills.
Yep.
You know, and all that shit.
But
so.
Prometheus is a giant can of confusing plot holes that we're just gonna not deal with
My
today.
sister Amanda was like, "Can I come on and talk about how shit Prometheus was?"
See?
No, she's not allowed to be here because I really, really, really like Prometheus.
I told her that she can be here.
Prometheus
for a
is my
different one.
third rating in this series, just so we're clear on that.
Followed by Aliens, right?
It's Aliens,
Oh,
and then Alien,
okay.
and
And the first one's Covenant.
Well, yeah, of course.
yeah, obviously
everyone
that was the
loves-
best one.
Danny McBride's in that one.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my god, I forgot about that.
And
he plays Dallas. Also, is I think his actual name.
you know who else is in that?
Oh, James Franco.
James Franco.
It's basically
it a
Pineapple
comedy?
Express in space.
I think
God.
that. Okay, hang on. I gotta say this. I think that having James Franco in Covenant is like in
Embarrassing.
burst into flames within the first 10 minutes of the movie is like one of the weirdest cameos in the history of movies.
I was
'Cause
pissed.
he's such
'cause
a
I was
ho-
so excited to see James Franco.
It's just
and then
so
he
weird.
dies in the
Yeah,
first 10 minutes.
because like obviously like Drew Barrymore in Scream, Janet Leigh in Psycho, it's a thing to like kill off a big star, but like he is just like instantly
They're
killed.
like, who's the biggest guy we can get?
They did that with Demi Lovato in Eurovision.
Okay,
Not that matters.
relax.
I
It
never
didn't.
finished that movie.
Because it was
Anyway,
trash.
yeah.
But
Is that
they're like,
Will Ferrell movie that just came out? I didn't even watch
Rachel
it.
McAdams.
they're like, how
Sad.
big of a star can we get? And then they go down the list of
Yeah.
all the big actors, and James Franco was finally like, fuck it, I'll do it. I like this movie.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, okay, by the way, you die instantly.
Whoops.
It's just so funny.
Well, the original obviously spawned the career of the now infamous Sigourney Weaver, who is
Right.
seemingly just a downright good gal.
And she's been in a lot of shit.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, she was in Ghostbusters. I mean, what are you
She's
gonna
in
do?
A lot of shit. And my favorite part about her is that she becomes the villain, like the big bad and
okay.
everything. You know, like did you see Paul?
No,
Talking about another alien movie. You've never seen Paul?
I think I've seen bits of it.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. But
Okay.
she's the big bad in that one. Spoiler alert.
Is Simon Pegg in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah, she is.
She's the big bad in
oh
Cabin
my
in the
God,
Woods.
Yeah.
Chappie.
Did you just pull out a motif I didn't even think about? How about that?
Yeah, man.
Do you want to hear something scary?
Okay.
Guess who was the other biggest contender for the role of Ripley? You'll never guess
Okay.
unless you already have the note.
No, I don't have the note.
Meryl Streep.
Really?
Yeah.
Meryl
So like
Streep?
one of the most like, oh, I'm an actress and I win Oscars.
Who's the mom from Stranger Things? Why am I?
Winona Ryder?
I can see her being Ripley.
She's too weird.
Well,
Huh.
so sure, but I mean, I could see her.
Wouldn't she be like 8 years old when this movie came out?
Yeah, yeah. What
Because
if
she was
we-
young in Beetlejuice, which was like 89.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm just saying. She
She's
reminds
not that
me.
old.
She reminds me.
No, and she's still great. I love Winona Ryder.
Whatever, guys. Whatever.
I'm just saying. I think you're.
Whatever. I don't want to talk about.
You
it
know who
anymore.
else would be great for this role? Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, she would have been great.
Oh my
in
God.
this.
Why you guys-
Finn Wolfhard could have been Dallas. It could have been a whole
You
thing.
guys are
Yeah.
being mean.
Speaking of Dallas, guess who else turned down this role?
For Dallas?
Yeah,
Talk to me.
Harrison Ford.
Wow.
So can you believe it?
I would fucking hate this movie if Harrison
no,
Ford was
I
in
think
it.
it'd be
I
good.
mean,
love Harrison Ford.
I have to agree.
You like Harrison Ford because of what he's been in now, but if he was an alien,
Well, this would have been right after Star Wars, so he'd have been hot property.
I don't know.
Which he would later join Ridley Scott for Blade Runner in '82.
Oh, my
Another
God, you're
movie
right.
that ate shit at the box office and now is
just
like
a cult
it's
classic out
it's
the
known by
ass.
just about everybody, which is it's weird how that happens, huh?
Fun fact: I've only seen that movie once.
I think I've only seen it one time.
I
all
didn't
the way
see
through.
the sequel either.
I feel like I need a nap after I watch Blade Runner. Like,
I've never seen
takes
it.
a lot out of you.
That is the best line you've ever said on
Thank
the show.
you.
Do you want to give me a couple positives and negatives? You got any negatives on this?
Well, the sound design for starters is excellent. The effects are great. The whole cast is just mwah, like a chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just run through some names for all the kids who don't know?
Yeah. Let's.
We got Tom
some-
Skerritt's Dallas. The late John Hurt's Kane.
Rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace. Ian Holmes as Ash.
Yep.
He plays that cold bastard very well. Yaffy Koto, as we already mentioned, is Parker. Veronica Cartwright, which is a very white-sounding name, if I must say.
Cartwright.
Yeah.
With a W.
That's Lambert. And, of course, the late Harry Dean Stanton as the guy who gets killed while the cat just kind of does its thing.
I know, and he was in a couple of things. Green Mile, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen The Godfather Part 2, but
He was in
apparently
Repo
that.
Man. If you've ever seen that,
Oh,
that
I have
gem
seen,
with
I have
Emilio
seen Repo Man.
Estevez.
Oh, and he was in Christine.
Oh, Jesus Christ, he was.
See, there we go.
See?
He's a good guy.
One of my favorites.
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
Rest
in
in
peace, sir. He was 91, so he made it quite a ways.
All right.
Do you want to hear something very sinister?
Of course.
I don't know why I keep asking you and I don't just say it.
Just talk to me.
But this is what I like. Something very, very strange is that as of 2020, the cast members of this movie, which mind you is like, 8 people total,
Sure. Yeah.
including the voice of the computer, they've all died in the same order they do in this movie.
Oh.
Isn't that spooky?
Well, the computer doesn't talk. Oh, yeah, she does.
Yeah.
At the end.
Mhm.
Self-destruct sequence.
Yeah.
And T-minus 5 minutes. Like, shut up.
Helen Horton is the woman who voices the mother.
Interesting.
But
So she'll be the last to die out of all.
no,
of them.
she's been dead.
Oh.
But
Yeah, rip.
I'm saying all the on-screen people.
Well.
Do you have any negatives? I know you could probably go on forever. about the
I
positives of this movie.
mean,
I have a couple.
I have one.
it's hard because I would say negatives as in like shit that they fuck up later, which makes this movie not make sense.
Oh, no, I'm talking this movie only.
Right? No, I know. That's the only like ones that are jumping out at me are ones that are like, well, you fucking did this later on and
Sure.
it fucks it up.
Sure.
And you can't even be like, well, it's not his thing because like those come from Ridley Scott too. So it's
Yeah,
like,
right.
fuck.
I
I think it bums me out that they cut out some of the stuff like the cocoon sequence that I sent you.
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
even know about that until I was looking into this movie.
And that's also in the director's cut.
Right.
Yeah.
So
if you guys are watching the director's cut,
if you should, because
won't-
there's a great scene.
won't miss it.
Because
Did you
Dallas.
watch the director's cut?
No, but I went back and did some research on it.
Because
Yeah.
Dallas, when he gets, scared really bad by the alien when it jumps out at
Yeah,
him.
he got a little nervous.
That's just kind of where he ends, but originally there was a scene that they even shot where they find him later. Ripley finds him in this, like, cocoon, and he just looks miserable, and he's begging for her to kill him.
Really good.
Really sick shit, and
Really
they
good
really should have
effects
left it
on it,
in.
yes.
Because, oh, man, does that give me the heebies.
And then, like I mentioned earlier, you also get a glimpse of where they're going, like what the planet is and where they're at, which is cut out of the original movie because,
Yeah.
quite frankly, it's not needed unless you're really trying to get into the lore. Which I'm someone who gets into the lore, so I would have been fine with it if it was in there. But I get it. Tosh, you mentioned you had a negative.
So when they were in the ship and they were fixing it, and there was like that, and like there was a bunch of air coming out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The vacuum of space.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't like the sound there. The sound didn't match up with Ripley's. When Ripley was talking, it wasn't matching up with her mouth moving.
Oh, see, I didn't even
little-
catch that.
Yeah, that's the
Little
only
false
thing.
stubbing.
I don't know what it is, but whenever someone is talking and the sound doesn't match up with their mouth, I can't. That's something that I just can't get out of my mind. It
Yeah,
just
so-
sticks there.
So we definitely can't show any Bruce Lee movies that are dubbed.
Or
She wouldn't-
Godzilla.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do
Can't
it.
do it. Just can't do it. The whole movie's screwed for you.
Do you know who Dan O'Bannon is, Mr. Vox?
No.
He directed one of my personal favorites, Return of the Living Dead. He was the writer for this
Okay.
bad boy.
Okay.
I would call him a badass, but he was also the one who made the facehuggers flesh tone colored because they were originally supposed to be like green,
Oh,
which
really?
because aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
But he decided that they should have changed it because it looked more realistic, and I would have to agree. I think
That's one thing that I think that was a wise decision.
Yes.
My favorite part about this evolution of Alien, especially now with having so many movies, is we get to see the different forms and varieties of Alien and how if they are injected into something else, they become something else. Not to reference Prometheus again, but
your favorite.
Obviously, when they get injected into the Creator, it comes out as a squid, not as an alien. So it's a little bit different. So obviously, it's cross-pollinating and mutating in different ways. But to go from the flesh-colored facehugger to the bloody gold or silver tooth chest burster to like the mildly gray silver looking young xenomorph to the what we see at the end adult xenomorph, which is pretty black at that point. It's really cool to see that they grow and kind of grow into themselves, because it's kind of like a baby who sometimes is born with blue eyes and then their eyes can change.
Right, because it's all depending on, like you said, what it mates with.
Right. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's an
good
interesting
thinking on that,
because when you think about it, it needs to connect with something to reproduce, which is scary to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a like a sexual innuendo kind of rape culture. Not to use the R word, but kind of because seriously, it just kind of injects itself. I want to go real quick.
It even pops right out of the space jockey.
That's
right.
That
That big bastard.
That's right. I wanted to say my negatives because obviously we are praising this movie. We don't need to reflect on our positives.
Yeah.
I got two things. One is not that big of a deal. The other one is kind of like I get it because it was kind of the times. We had to turn the subtitles on for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because the sound design, although at times is very nice, I think it's a little janky. It's hard to hear a lot of the actors and what they're saying over the vacuum sounds of space or the ship or the crunching of the rocks or whatever they're doing. So that did irritate me a little bit, especially being a sound guy. We've mentioned that before. I wish that was mixed out a little bit. But I get it. It's a sign of the times. There are probably not that many microphones going on at this place, and they're trying to add in effects afterwards. So that's one thing. The other thing, which is not a big deal because I think it did it really well, but I wish there was just a tiny bit more action in it. Being a huge fan, I wish I would have seen the xenomorph a few more times than the 4 that we saw on screen. But I said
definitely a slow burn.
Yeah, but I said the same thing about Jaws. The first time I watched Jaws,
I love Jaws,
and so do I. But you don't see the shark until the end. You know?
I don't think you even see an alien. When's the chest burster scene? Like an hour in. So it really takes its time. So. Again, your millennial is showing.
Yeah, I know, and I'm so sorry about that. But that's just one thing, and that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
In the very last, my third negative, if you will, the ending was just a little bit rushed. I don't know. I understand a whole bunch was cut out of this from the director's cut, but just a little bit more to make that ending stretch out a little bit more. Because goddamn, like I get why they did it so fast. My heart's racing. She's trying to get her suit on and strap herself in while the xenomorph's trying to come out and blow him out into space.
Right.
I get it. But I wanted more. That's why I'm excited if we continue this series, not the Halloween extravaganza, to keep going into Alien. I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah, there's
the
a lot
second
to
one
discuss.
really, really feeds into that.
Well, because there's a kind of interesting tidbit or theory. I don't know if it's confirmed or not that I was reading about. Considering the ending, it says that the alien didn't actually outsmart Ripley, but he was looking for a quiet place to die, and that's why he was there. In the end, and it would also explain why in this movie he kind of changes color, goes from one to basically like jet black towards the end.
Yes.
They say that's him dying, but it doesn't even really matter because, of course, later on that would be completely ignored as the sequels went on. But I think that's a kind of neat idea, and I didn't think about it like that.
Well, and I guess if we want to talk about that for a minute, I could get on that train because how long do
that
these
ship, if you will?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. How long do these things last if they're not feeding?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they make the cocoon in the cocoon scene, because they're supposed to be like implanting more and start. It's kind of like a Hydra, kill one, 2 more come. So that's a weird theory.
Yeah,
I'd be interested
I don't
to
know.
see a little bit more thought discussion on that.
Yeah.
We'll have to find the post that is, but please explain how we rate movies here.
Well, to anyone who's new, hello. But we do.
You made it this far.
Yeah. We do thumbs up and thumbs down when you break it down. Pick it or flick it, as well as a quick out of 10 score, just for all the casuals out there.
But Luke, if you give it a thumbs up, that automatically means it's a good movie.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Nope. That's not how that.
Oh, really?
Opinions are very vast, Vox.
That's crazy.
I know this is
So if you give
concept.
something a low number but still say you should pick it, that doesn't mean that it's a fantastic movie?
Yes, that's exactly what
that's
that
crazy. Because you can give something a shitty number but still say it's worth seeing. So,
Yeah.
let's start with Natasha. Ladies first.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you pick it or flick it?
Pick it.
Oh, yeah? And what's your number?
7.5 out of 10.
Wow, you got a lot of 7.5s or 7.75s going on up in here. You do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should write these down. That's what we said last time, right?
Yeah.
It's not quite an 8.
Not
But-
quite an
Wow.
8, but
Still a good movie. Great movie.
Tasha says
Yeah,
a
definitely
7.5.
one of the classics, one of the OGs of what I think a lot of modern horror has to thank it is Alien.
So Luke, would you pick this or flick it?
I absolutely would pick it, Vox.
Yeah? What's your number rating?
I'd give it a strong 9.
Really?
Yeah. Because like I said, I watch a lot of shitty movies.
Do you?
Both on my own, everything from just getting another Star Wars reference out of the way, everything from The Phantom Menace all the way down to what's something I recently watched. I was watching this movie called Jacko.
Okay.
That's a really bad low budget movie.
Love it.
Sounds bad.
Yeah, it's not good. So seeing what simple premises can be elevated by perfect writing, directing, acting, and stuff like that are what really help me still justify gushing over a movie that's been talked about to death, like Alien.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Jaws, Back to the Future, the first Star Wars. It's just one of those movies where like it feels like everything should have went wrong, but somehow at the end of the day we're still talking about it, right?
I feel you.
And I don't know. The original title was supposed to be Star Beast. So it's like every speed bump that could have ruined this movie along the way.
Did you guys watch Star Beast this weekend?
Like imagine, yeah. Hey, do you remember Ridley Scott's Star Beast?
And then
no.
Star Beasts.
Yeah.
Ew, stop it.
It's like Halloween. They wanted to call that like the Babysitter Murders or some shit like that.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's a unanimous pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I am also going to give this thing a fat 9.
Nice.
A big fat 9 is
Excellent,
for me.
yeah.
So, yeah, go check it out if you haven't watched it. It's a classic.
I can't imagine.
People,
Yeah.
there are people that haven't seen this.
Right.
So.
And that's the craziest part to me is because like movies like this are just so well known throughout just pop culture. Like everyone knows who Ripley is,
That's
which
right.
is kind of, especially just watching this first one, is like, damn, she's up there.
Right.
She's as well known as Ash, Freddy, Michael, Dracula, all those,
So I
Classics.
wouldn't have seen this movie if it weren't for my dad or for Vox. So
Perfect.
I know how people haven't seen it.
That's right. Thank you for listening. Luke, give me something positive.
Get away from her, you bitch. I know it's not from this movie, but
Tasha,
How do you guys get a baby alien to sleep?
tell me.
give
You
it to
rock
NASA.
it.
Oh.
Rock it. like-
Oh,
These are getting worse.
yeah. I want to get out of this world.